Hello, Metallian Magic here, and today we are going to be cracking a pack of Born of the Gods and talking about what, or at least I'm going to be giving my opinion on what I would first pick if I were opening this at the beginning of a Born of the Gods Theros draft. Journey into Nyx is coming out soon, so the format is going to change, obviously, when that is released, so that you will get one pack of each set in draft, starting with Journey and then Born and then Theros. So this is kind of a way to put a nice little bow on Born of the Gods and talk about the format before it switches. So let's see, I'm going to lay these out. We've got Evanescent Intellect, not a card that I really want to pick at all. Fearsome Temper can go in certain decks, not necessarily a first pick. Hold at Bay. Let's see, let me lay them out first, then I'll give a little rundown here. Okay. So already we've got an Akroan Skyguard, which is certainly thought of as the best white common in the set. Oftentimes, because white pairs well with pretty much any other color, and there are so many powerful white cards in Born of the Gods and Theros, many drafters at a table will be attempting to assemble a white-based deck, and it can be kind of tricky to build a white deck when you're sort of in a fight for white with a bunch of other people, which is typically something that some drafters have touted as a reason to stay away from white, but let's see what else we have before making that choice. So we've got our uncommons now. Now this is interesting. Before I even get to the rare or mythic, we've got an Ornitharch, which is most likely the best white uncommon in the set. So we've got the best white uncommon and the best white common, but not a whole lot of other good white cards, or really right now one other white card that's definitely not first pickable. And so we run the risk of, already, depending on what these other two cards are, if we don't look at them yet, we do run the risk of like picking an Ornitharch, and then the person to our left picks an Akroan Skyguard, and they think they're going to be in white as well. However, we do get to cut them off from white during pack one, and although this is certainly a case where we'd like to just take both of these cards. So we've got, okay, and here we go. So, and then that's not important, land and tokens. So here's our pack. So let's see. If I'm looking at this from the just perspective of power level, I would certainly take the Ornitharch or the Akroan Skyguard. And I think, although Skyguard is very good, there are certainly other cards that can fill the role of Skyguard that are easier to find because they're at common, like Wingsteed Rider, Oresco Sunguide, Elite Skirmisher. I'd rather have Skyguard in my deck than any of those cards, but Ornitharch is a harder card to replace. A large white flyer is something that typically, other than Ornitharch, you're only going to find rare with something like Celestial Archon and Theros. There are three other potential cards here that I might look at. I might look at Meletus Astronomer, I might look at Guild, and I might look at Ferris Band Tromper. However, I don't think I'm going to take the Tromper because green seems to be underdrafted. Green and black at the moment, in the drafts that I've done, seem to be underdrafted in this format. And so I don't see something like Tromper as being a card that we need to first pick, although it is the only good green card in the pack. It's one of two, and it's the only good one. Also, I see black being heavily underdrafted in this format. Yesterday, I watched the top 8 draft of Grand Prix Philadelphia, and Reed Duke was able to make it all the way to the finals, in which he lost, but he was the only black drafter at the table, and basically because of that, he was able to assemble a green-black deck that was very powerful. Those were the cards that were being underdrafted, the green and the black cards. So there is something to be said for drafting the colors that other people are staying out of, and Guild is removal that doesn't ask a whole lot of you and gives you a bit of extra upside as well. Astronomer can be good, but I don't think I'm going to first pick it here. I think if I were going to go the route, and also with black, like I said about green, Claim of Erebos is a card that might even just be the last pick in the pack, that or Evanescent Intellect. And Wood of the Underworld, it can be okay, but it's certainly not a card that you pick early in the draft. So Going into green or black here as our first pick seems relatively safe. We know we're not going to pass the person to our left something that's going to make them want to be those colors, or like whichever color we choose here. So there's an argument to be made for these two cards based on that logic. However, so I'm going to pull these aside. However, if we're just going with white being potentially thought of as the best color in Born of the Gods, white or red, but white also being deep in Theros, and then the fact that if we take the Ornitharch, we are passing something good in white to someone to our left, but we're not passing anything else relevant in white. Like, this pack is actually pretty weak, so we're not really passing anything super amazing, even if we do take the Ornitharch. And so I think based on pure power level and the potential to go into a color that's very powerful, Ornitharch would be the obvious first pick. But I think that if you were going to stay out of white and just stay out of the white fight and go into another color, or start off your draft with a color that is potentially going to be more open, or potentially, you're assuming that other people are thinking the same way you are about white, and you're going to see a higher density of playable green and black cards over the course of the pack, you might take Guild or Ferris Band Tromper. Because I said that Tromper is something that you might even see later in the pack that someone else will pass you, and it's a good green common, but there are other good green commons like Nyxborn Wolf. I don't think Ferris Band Tromper is the pick here. So I think the pick is between Guild and Ornitharch. This is just really good, solid, hard removal, and this is one of the best, maybe the best uncommon creature in the set. There's an argument that it's not, but it's certainly up there, and it's, by all accounts, the best white uncommon creature in the set. Vanguard of Brimaz maybe being a close second, but I don't think that's super close. And so, yeah, I guess really the decision you have to make with this pack is, do I want to enter the white fight with the potential upside of having a very strong first pick in white, or do I want to go into a color that's potentially being underdrafted and get a card that's just going to pretty much take anything off the board and give you an extra mana of any color to boot? So I think an argument could be made for either one of these cards as a first pick based on how you think the draft is going to go and what strategy you want to employ based on the knowledge that white is very popular. So that would be what I would do if I saw this pack. But certainly I'm interested in hearing feedback and the opinions of you guys out there to see what you would do if this was the pack that you opened first in a Born Theros draft. So please make sure to comment with your suggestions, opinions, or thoughts on the format in the comments below. And tell me also what you think about Journey into Nyx and how you think Journey into Nyx is going to affect the current limited format. As always, thanks for watching. This is Metallian Magic, signing out.